Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about comic books,
costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Jaguar Man and Purple Tigress.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined by the one who I asked him how to describe himself.
Well, you asked me like what's my most cat-like quality?
I did, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And
I'm as in the dark as everyone else here.
Actually, we'll save it. This is the ferocious one, Mr. Mike.
Howdy.
There, that kind of fits with it.
Grr.
What we have on today's show, and there's a reason why I asked you that, and I'll explain.
Okay.
We are going to do Wonder Woman Dead Earth, I promise. I have it. I just need to read it.
Great.
I just haven't had the time to sit down and read it all because it is a meteor. I need to process things in it. It's a more serious book. What we're covering today is not serious at all.
Lawrence Taylor looks very disappointed in you.
He always is.
Look at his face.
Is he disappointed with me?
Man, first this guy steals my apples, and then the other guy won't read the comic book.
For those who don't know, or for those just listening, Mike has a poster behind him of an old Sports Illustrated cover of Lawrence Taylor, who is wearing his blue Giants uniform, and Mark Gastineau in his white Jets
He's stealing his apples.
Both from New York, hence the apples, I'm assuming.
Why is his helmet full of apples, though?
Because it says the Jets are always second banana on the cover.
Yeah, none of that makes any sense.
Does it say?
It says
second in the Big Apple.
Yeah, but
why don't they still? Well,
again, why is his helmet full of apples?
Because
what happened
in the Big Apple?
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You go to the Big Apple, they fill your hat full of apples.
What you're saying. You're asking for me to explain why.
Literally, why are there apples in his helmet?
Helmet. Because somebody thought.
Did they go picking?
They're in the Big Apple.
Did they go picking together? Hey, Mark, let's go get some apples.
No. Based off
Stop taking my apples.
How Lawrence Taylor is guarding those apples is maybe Mark Gastineau said, hey, LT, let's go apple picking. And they went there, and LT...
he got all the apples.
He actually picked apples, but it was hot, maybe. And he was putting in all the work. And Gastineau, hear me out, this is just a thought.
Yeah.
Just kind of kick back. This is like an ant and grasshopper situation if we're talking about Aesop's Fables. And he just watched LT pick all those apples. So when they get back, right? You still following?
I'm following.
All right. So when they get back,
I don't think it's right, but I'm following.
Gastineau's like, hey, LT, let me have one of those apples. And LT's like, no, man, I picked these apples.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get any of these apples.
I don't blame him. Yep.
And so that's why, well, also...
Stop taking my apples.
He got there. The first thing that also pissed LT off, he's like, all right, where's a bag for me to put my apples that I picked in? And Gastineau said...
Snowball type situation where just one thing happens and another thing, then another thing.
Exactly. And he's like, oh, I thought you were supposed to bring the bags. And
I can
LT's
tell you...
like, I've never been. Why would I bring the bags? I'll use my helmet.
I can tell you right now.
And so, hold on, just to put a bow in it. And so he's like, no, you can't have any apples because I picked them all.
Mm-hmm.
Gastineau is still trying to sneak apples from LT.
Mm-hmm. Something bad is about to happen in that picture.
LT is about to beat Mark Gastineau's ass for
right,
his
because
apples that he told him not to take.
He already has an apple that he's taking a bite out of, and as LT is looking at that half-eaten apple, he's sneaking around to grab another apple.
He is.
Which is just like a bitch move. That's really, that sucks.
That is very much like you don't need to be greedy. Like,
Mark Gastineau, explain yourself.
There was already that uncomfortable video. This is where we talk about sports.
Where you got a hold of Brett Favre?
Yeah. That was weird to see. Anyway,
Waiting for my sack.
This is Bros, Foes, and Heroes, a comic book podcast where we sometimes talk about sports.
Hey, one of those. Here's something completely different. Look, I'm not going to tell you the name of this magazine because it is local.
The Lady Loves.
But do you see these ladies on here?
Yeah.
These are the kind of okay, and again for our audio listeners, these are the kind of magazines that I can't. So
it makes okay. What can't
these
you about
three
it,
ladies?
I love how we open with rants. Okay.
These three ladies.
Do you know
what
them
are they
personally?
doing?
They're playing tennis.
No,
or they just
they're not. What are they doing?
They just got done. Here, let me put Zoom. I just have you in small.
You think they just got through with their tennis games?
No, they're getting ready to practice tennis.
Okay, so you don't think they've played tennis yet?
No, they're there just talking, getting ready to start playing tennis. That's what I think.
Okay. I think
that's okay. Now this title makes more sense because the title of the cover says "The Lady Loves," but they're referring to a score in tennis.
As you look at the picture, there are two girls who are talking to each other. Then there's one girl who seems like she has no idea where she's at.
She is just kind of staring
she's just
off
like, Sarah. Sarah does that. I mean, Sarah's okay. So I'm gonna.
If you've seen Mean Girls, it's Amanda Siegfried's character.
Pretty much,
in Mean Girls out of the three. Yeah,
pretty much.
Just staring off.
So
Karen, I think was her name.
My issue with this is that it's not like real life, right? I mean, nobody's ever been in this situation where you're just standing there.
Were you talking before you practice tennis?
And there's some third over there just staring off into space.
No, I'm usually that third.
You're the third.
Third staring off into space.
You're the third lady in the skirt staring off into space.
Yeah, I'm the third.
Okay.
That third is going to get me, but I am the person staring off into space.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hate this staged kind of crap like this. It's so.
I get that.
Kitschy
it seems like overly.
Dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I was gonna? Okay. Well, I won't say it. Never mind.
You know what I just realized?
I was gonna say this one girl, like.
Yeah.
She looks like.
Did you put Batman up when you came in here?
Did I what?
Did you put Batman up when you came in here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. I got excited for a second.
This one girl just kind of looks like.
We're not okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna say she looks like the slut of the group.
We're a comic book podcast. She looked. I didn't even hear it.
Yeah, you should.
Maybe I should just.
No, you shouldn't listen to that. Yeah, don't listen to that.
It'll go when I go back and try to make shorts out of this. It'll be something.
She looks like the one that they're just like, yeah, have Sarah go do it. Have Sarah go do it. Like she's just the goober in the group. The other two are like.
Well, again, like I think she showed up with like golf clubs, and they're like, no, we're playing.
Yes,
tennis
I can absolutely see that.
Right?
She goes, where is this? She looks at him and goes, is this pickleball? They're like, no, Sarah.
I told him we only wanted to play the back nine, and I said I had to run a racket.
She said, I don't play back nines. I only play front nines.
I'm only saying that because she does just kind of look, and I can't really see from where Mike's holding it, but she looks like she's staring just straight off into space while everything else is going on.
Well, and the other thing I'm going to say about this is,
Yeah.
and I have to really cover up the name. The other thing I'm going to say about this is those two are almost holding hands. The two.
Hear me out.
The goofy one and the.
Hear me out.
One.
No, I don't want to say that.
And they have a shopping cart full of balls.
Well, yeah, that always happens.
But yet there's a bunch of them on the ground too.
It's not.
It's just when you start picking, when you pick at this scab, it really starts to bleed. Is all I'm saying.
Why are you that's the thing is this is like. Okay.
I don't know.
Did you grab this publication for free?
It was
Mike?
already on the table when I came in here.
Right. So you didn't even have to pay for this.
No, I didn't have to pay. Nobody pays
the
for
cover of this. Just eat at you this much.
Yeah, it kind of eats at me. I'm sorry.
Let's woo-saw a bit.
Oh, man.
It back in.
Now, if you go inside, it gets worse. They're serving up a win.
Can I get a quote? Can that be the T-shirt this time? If it just says, "Oof, if you go inside, it gets worse."
This says, "Serving up a win for friendship." Come on, a match made in motherhood. Nothing on that said they were mothers.
Hold on. So those are kids now on the.
No, they're mothers.
Oh, so there's all moms.
You know what they're doing?
What?
They're scoring pals, not points. That's what it says.
Like a region?
Take a swing at starting your own social group, says Lolita. She's got the heart sunglasses and the whole thing.
This is okay. Let me get going because this is a part
okay. Let's go.
Just
Comic
completely
books.
alienating the audio audience.
I'm sorry, audio audience.
Oh, Oh, the 10 of you that we have, we apologize. So I was going to get
By the
into
way,
Wonder Woman.
when you create your new social group,
Yeah.
here's a quote. It
Okay.
can be anything. It doesn't have to be tennis. Okay. Thanks, lady.
Hey, can
Oh,
we start a
boy.
club? Yeah.
Yeah.
Any club? Yeah.
Anything but
It can be anything. It doesn't have to be
no,
tennis.
it has to be tennis. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What if we don't like tennis or else?
I don't like tennis.
So
Get out.
what we do have instead of what I've read to be a
Yeah.
really good, and we're gonna get to Wonder Woman because I want to cover some Wonder Woman. I've been reading a lot on. I don't know if it's like
She's just
when your
spinning
phone
around in a
just
circle.
happens to pick up and show you things that you hear, or it's just the Reddit pages I'm a part of. But a lot of people talking about, hey, what are some good Wonder Woman stories? So I kind of want to focus on that throughout the year. It's not like we're gonna have a Wonder Woman month, or maybe we should. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna get to Dead Earth here very soon, but I wanted some more ridiculousness and some more silliness. Very
like
similar to the Mad Hatter from last week, Mike. We're gonna cover 2 characters, right?
The Mad Hatter was on the TV in there the other day, and one of the kids that works here walked up.
The video one or
Yes.
just the audio one?
I think it was just the audio one.
Okay.
But it was up on the screen, right? Because we just leave stuff playing in the lobby. And I had to explain to them why this person had a hat on their suit. And I was like, I don't know.
We don't know.
He just does. Well, what does he do? He doesn't have any powers.
No,
Oh,
and
okay.
nothing hat specific whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a bad
But
superhero.
it was funny.
Oh, it was
funny.
funny. Yeah, absolutely.
You were very obsessed with the
Yeah.
fact that he was wearing what seemed to be a diaper.
I
It
love
was
the fact-
a fur diaper too.
I love the fact that he doesn't have to be tennis.
He doesn't have to be tennis.
There
He
you
can
go.
be
Pulled it
hats.
all together seamlessly. See
He
that?
can be hats. Do you want to start a club about hats?
No,
Start a club about hats.
just tennis hats.
Coming up on Wednesday.
Is that
Let
a
me
thing?
let me get one more quick plug in before we get into today's.
Are there very tennis specific hats?
No, they're just like tennis hats, like baseball hats, like this but for tennis.
Yeah.
I love how I looked up, like instead
This.
I kind of pointed like this, like I'm a bobblehead, like this but for
Yeah.
tennis. What was I gonna say? Oh, Wednesday! Don't forget this Wednesday. Check out another World's Finest Wednesday. We have a great issue of Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, where he has to collect the tears from people and he has to make Superman cry.
Yeah, that one's good.
So make sure to check that out. I laughed pretty hard. I don't remember
No,
what
it was
about.
great. It
That's
was-
the thing is like sometimes with the lack of sleep and things, like I forget fully what we talk about. Like I remember in jest, but
It's
I
just
do remember
hard to
laughing very
believe
hard.
that
it's a good episode.
It's just
So,
hard to believe at one point they wanted you to take that seriously.
I don't think they
You
wanted
know?
you to take it well.
Well, they were making it for children's.
You know what, Mike? Sometimes I read those things and it makes me think they were like, "Hey, Zach
Hey.
and Mike, can you guys just write this comic book for us?"
50
And we're
years
like,
in the future. Could you
yeah.
take care of this for us?
And we're like, sure. Like, I would love to now for like DC or Marvel or hell, even Dark Horse or
Thanks, Ghost of
Boom
Comics Past.
or IDW or I'm trying to Dynamite. Any comic
This
book publisher.
magazine.
Yeah, that
Sure.
magazine. Any publisher to call us up and be like, hey, you guys now run this. Can you give us like a 16-page story every month? You're telling me you wouldn't want to do that where they'd let us have, like, what if we got to do World's Finest? They would never do this. But what if, like, we got to do World's Finest? You'd get to draw Superman and Batman. Would you be down for that?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
Okay. And we would also get to work together on writing stories, and we could have them do the dumb stories like what we cover of where they had to, like, switch cities and battle crimes to see who could host the Electronics Expo. We could
The
do those.
Electronics Expo.
We covered that.
I know we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was a good pull.
So check out. Thank you. Okay, check out the World's Finest Wednesday. Oh, Mike's on a task. He's drawing something this week again. Superman
Superman.
pals Jimmy Olsen. Our Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen. I can't remember issue 125. It's Superman's saddest day. So there you
Yeah.
go for that. So
He had to cry a lot.
now that we have talked like 12 minutes about nothing, let's
That's
get into
neat.
today's issue where we have more Golden Age stuff. Both of these characters, Mike, are from Fox Features. Okay. Which was a comic book publisher back in the 40s. We are covering.
You see my picture of Superman?
Hold on, let me pull you back up real quick. Let me see. Oh, I actually like that.
You like that?
I like that.
You like his giant package?
I do.
Okay.
Are we talking about like his chest, or are you talking about the
down
giant bulge?
below.
The way you draw it,
He's
looks
got a
like
big
he
old
does have
bulgy.
3 legs, or is that his bulge? And then
Oh
he's
yeah,
just
he
like,
does. He's got 3
is
legs.
that his
All right.
thigh gap between their Mike? Is he just like very like bow-legged Superman?
Here's the thing. Anybody watching this, I can actually draw. I just I was being stupid. I promise.
Oh man,
This is like if Charlie Brown grew up to be
here's the
Superman.
thing. Are you telling me people don't want to read our Batman and Superman adventures? Maybe we should make a
You write it, I'll draw it.
that'll work. We got to change it a little bit so they don't come after us until they
Yeah.
actually give us World's Finest. So
Scooperman.
it'll be Booperman and Satman. You just got to change the first letters of each, right?
Sure, that's all you have to do.
Booperman and Satman.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Copyright.
Anyway, okay. So what we have today, Mike, more Golden Age from Fox features.
Yeah.
Both of these characters we're going to cover 2 appearances each, and they have a lot of things in common. This is a furious feline fanatical episode of
That's why you asked me what I was
Bros, Foes, and Heroes.
Okay.
Which, by the way, we're like 10 minutes in, and Mike said he could shit in a box. So
What I didn't, you give me some context.
sorry. I should give context.
Give me
That
some
is not
context.
fair to Mike.
You asked what my most feline-like feature was, and I looked at you and said I shit in a box,
That's true.
and you were like, "Okay, that's
Okay,
fair."
well, roll then. Now that you know what it's for, but I guess that's right. The way I said it.
You don't just start off with Mike shits in a box. You know, I mean that's
true. The way
Gotta
I,
get a little
the
more
way I said
context.
it was like you were trying to be like, oh, a cat can do that. I can do that too.
I mean,
Like,
I
you were
don't
just trying to
care.
one-up it.
You know, if people think
Anyway.
I shit in a box, I don't care. Whatever.
Now that you know, though, do you
A
have
very
a different,
specific box, though.
do you have a different answer?
What? My most feline-like feature?
Yeah.
No, still shit in a box.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both of these are feline characters.
Not cough up air balls.
Both of these, though, are from Fox Features.
Okay.
So very
Feline-ish.
animal-centric here.
Yeah.
I dug through the comics we have here. The only thing I could find for a set piece is the cat from Beneath the Trees.
Oh, yeah.
Where Nobody Sees, who was allergic to lavender and who kept her dead husband stuffed in bed next to her. If you haven't checked out Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, go back and do that. That was a great series.
It was very good. Yeah.
But our first of these 2,
By the way, everybody saw it.
everybody saw it.
Well,
That
it
is
was Beneath
actually
the Trees, but everybody saw it
Yeah.
at some point.
that is actually one of our most listened to. Like everybody seems like it's a really
Really?
good series. Yeah.
Huh. Well, thanks, everybody.
We'll start with an All
Oh,
Great
boy.
Comics is where our first charecter makes his appearance.
Not the
his
O'Brien
debut appearance.
twins and Joan Mason
Here's the thing.
in the same issue?
Did you know? I was gonna say no. Maybe I should save this for just to surprise you with. But I feel like you know this person, but I just want to make sure. Maybe I'll just ask you and you'll forget. Do you know who Pat Boone is?
I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's Pat Boone comics.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I just assumed that he stole comics, probably written.
So what is
by
it?
other people
What are
and
the
passed it
O'Brien
off as
twins
covers.
saying to each other?
I have no clue.
'Cause I can't
Let me
really
pull you
read
back up as I was just making. This is 1945 when this issue
Hey,
came out. That's what I was
Waterman,
trying to
those
figure out.
knights are after us with their
Blades
blades
unsheathed.
Boy,
And the other
that
one
means
says-
something completely different.
Blades. Who'd be thinking of shaving at a time like this?
Boy, that is good comedy.
Also, there is no Green Mask or Rick Evans with the wings on his
And
helmet.
Joan Mason?
No
she just
Joan
gets
Mason.
She just gets a hand put over her face.
Oh, here's the thing.
That's her power.
Joan Mason just gets kidnapped. He's issue.
Joan Mason's dead right after this panel. It's
And
two
it's not-
panels.
and here's the thing: they got lazy with dialogue because it's a muffled hand.
It's
like,
all,
it's just lines of like, yeah, that's all for Joan.
Joan Mason.
Oh man, it's just. But the thing is, since she's a cover, it's like 16 pages of her. Yeah. No, Mike, we are
128 Oh boy, Jaguar.
we're going to talk about Jaguar.
Jaguar Man.
That's the thing. It's Jaguar Man.
Uh-huh.
Here we're introduced to him, and he is.
Why does that guy talk like that? Why does he say wit dat devil cat ebony?
They all.
Wit dat.
All the bad guys talk like that in this. They have
Because
that,
they're like 30s thugs or
But it's
40s
45, but
thugs
they're
or
all
whatever?
written like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Like that broken up speech.
And nobody is just stringing this guy up and dragging him out of town because he's dressed like a freaking leopard.
No.
Okay.
A jaguar. Mike.
That seems like that would go over well in the 40s. Like you just dress up like a jaguar and start walking down the street.
Oh yeah, no, everybody
I
be
think-
cool with that. So Jaguar Man fights crime and fights.
I love the fact that you have to say that like it's a thing.
It is a thing, Mike. I'm showing it to
Yeah.
you. Fights crime with his pet jaguar,
Mm-hmm.
Ebony.
Ebony.
But we find out he's a guy by the name of Steve Lane.
Okay.
Okay. And he is a line housekeeper at the zoo.
Does he know Marsha Mason or whoever was on the front cover?
Joan Mason?
Joan Mason.
You can't remember Joan's name already?
No,
Wow,
she's very
Mike.
generic.
This is also the tale of the tattooed egg. He had 2 stories that we're going to get into.
Tattooed egg.
The tattooed egg.
Oh,
So-
boy.
Well, these bad guys are walking by. They're talking about tattooed eggs right in front of.
They're just talking
Ebony.
about tattooed eggs?
It says, because the boss wanted to be sure we'd be nowhere near the bulls when you was sprung.
When you
Bulls are supposed to be cops, I'm
Yes,
assuming.
I'm assuming. Or prison guards,
Maybe.
usually. Yeah.
But they're out and they're at the zoo, these 2 guys
Okay.
talking. He goes, so I could give you a glad word. After tonight, it's 1945.
Mhm.
After tonight, we'll have this berg in our midst because we're all set to use the tattooed egg. That's all it says.
Okay.
And then he's just kind of like, man, we got to get out of here. I don't want, with this big cat around here, like, it gives me the willies, kind of freaks me out. And so they leave. But the zookeeper, Steve Lane, was that his name, right?
Is that Ebony
Steve-
that's in the
That
bars?
is Ebony that's in the exhibit.
No, yeah, okay.
Steve Lane
All right.
walks over and goes, what's wrong, Ebony? You're exciting all the other cats. Apparently, after the gangsters left, Ebony started, like, not meowing, I don't know, like, roaring or, like,
Meow.
yeah, just upsetting other
Started
cats.
shitting in a box.
And so Steve goes there and he goes, listening to Ebony, Steve's curiosity is aroused. A tattooed egg? What would a tattooed egg have to do with gangsters? That's right. He just talked to.
So he talks.
I gotta
yeah,
look
I know.
the other
I
way.
know.
That's not
he
where you
talks
are.
to Ebony, and he can understand what Ebony is saying. Number one, Ebony can understand what humans are saying.
Yes.
And then has the ability to get those thoughts and feelings over to some other human.
Yes. Through meows, maybe?
All right, this
Like,
is
meow,
good so
meow,
far.
meow. Okay. A moment later, he's like, Ebony, we'll look into it. A moment later, Steve Lane becomes the amazing Jaguar Man.
He's about to fall on that fence and impale
right in his
himself.
gooch, man.
Right in his nutsack.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Oh, but just like kebab them.
But both of them are just going to be like
Yeah,
impaled on that
it's gonna
fence.
impale Ebony too.
Yeah.
But it says who together with Ebony hurdles a secret fence or a secret exit. It's a fence that doesn't make it a secret
There's
exit.
no exit.
They just jump over it. And he's like, all right, first we'll head to the Museum of Natural History and see if we can pick up some clues from the curator there. So they show up, and the curator's surprised, and it's like, usually we only see dead subjects here. That's a live jaguar.
Burp, 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 burp.
Man. But it looks honestly like he's not wearing his mask in those top 2 pictures, even though
Yep.
he's supposed to. But at the same time, what mask?
What?
Because
He has no
honestly-
mask.
Here, like I'll take my messy hair, but it's like it's just cut out like right here. Oh, that's cool,
It's
Mike.
like this. I'm Jaguar Man.
I mean, honestly,
You can't tell who
and
I
can
am.
Just be like, no, you're my. Here, should we just keep it? Oh, I thought we were gonna be just 2 cool guys here.
How about that?
What's up, cool kids and teens that
What's-
aren't watching this?
What's up, fellow students?
There's that Steve Buscemi gift that
Mhm.
I love.
That's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, fellow young kids. Or anyway.
And it, like on his shirt, it says "your band" or something
Yeah,
like that, or
yeah,
just
yeah.
"band" or whatever. Yeah.
So Steve Lane shows up and he asks, and the curator tells him like, "No, I don't know anything about a tattooed egg. Sorry, but maybe you should go see our
Ornithologist?
Thank you.
I thought
They're an expert.
ornithologist takes because he takes care of birds, and so he's
go.
saying tattooed egg. I
Yeah.
got it. Okay. This hurts.
So-
how do b-boys do this?
Very b-boy.
How do they leave their
You
hats
remember
all
that?
sideways?
We've talked about this before. I feel like on an old episode, the bit with Ryan Philippe on SNL, where it's like the hip hop kids or whatever
Oh
in the
yeah,
bear cave.
yeah, the ones caught in a cave.
Yeah,
Yo, let's dance it out.
that's a great, or maybe it's the dance. Yeah, whatever it is, it's a
Because
great-
Sudeikis is the one over on the side. Just, yo, dance it out. You know, or what? He just uses his deep ass voice. He's
great.
basically a teenage version of himself on What's Up With That.
which is one of my
Yeah,
favorite bits.
Yeah, where he's just smoking and in a
Ooh-wee.
jog
and
suit.
he comes in and does like the Running Man randomly.
yeah, he just does it the whole time.
I love that man. So I'm just gonna point at you and you say the bird expert name.
Okay.
So the
Ornithologist.
doesn't know anything about any tattooed eggs either. But I do love when they show up. They're like, or when Jaguar Man and Ebony show up, the scientist goes, "This is the first time the birds haven't flown away when a human approached.
Oh.
So they fly away from you too? Do you have to chase them down each morning to study them?"
Well, it's not great to have a whole bunch of birds flying around with a full-size jaguar.
Oh, I'm sorry.
in
When
the
a
room.
human approach during feeding time, they must feel you are a friend. That's right. The birds can tell that
'cause
Jaguar Man
jaguars-
is a friend.
Birds and jaguars get along famously.
Well, here's another shirt idea. Hear me out. Picture of Jaguar Man, and it just says Jaguar Man, friend to all birds. Oh,
Yeah.
man. We are going to make T-shirts that only we would wear,
God, look at
but I
that.
think that's totally fine.
That's wonderful.
So then when he can't think of anything, who else am I going to go visit?
That's the stupidest
Oh.
suit I've ever seen, by the way.
It is very
That is possibly. I really thought Mad Hatter was the dumbest thing I'd seen because of the hat, but
It's
this,
like a one piece too,
This just looks like fucking pajamas with a hat. Is what that
Exactly.
looks like.
with ears though on the
Yeah.
hat. Like my little kid has a jacket that has barriers on it. It's
Yeah,
very
that's
similar.
exactly
Yeah.
it. It's one of those little kid things for a grown up.
Yeah. So
I'm a jaguar.
as he's leaving,
No,
he's
you're
like,
not.
"Oh, the bears give me an idea, an idea.
I
The
got an
bears give me
idea.
idea.
I'm
You
a
ever-
jaguar
you
with an
know
idea.
people- No, I'm pulling into Mike territory where I'm getting distracted by everything. I need to try to keep this
Okay,
straight.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's me.
I'll be the straight one.
I was
this
about to
time.
ask you, do you have anybody calls them ideals?
I have heard that there are certain phrases that
You do know somebody. I'll have to tell you off air.
once I hear them,
Yeah.
I immediately judge them based on that word.
Well,
Well,
is that one of them?
My wife gets mad whenever I correct her on certain words. And I don't mean to be a dick about it. I love words, and I love the way
Fair enough. I get
that
that.
different pronunciations can mean different things. I love ornithology. I mean,
Well, that's why I point at you to say all the big tough words, Mike.
sure. Okay.
Because I know how much you love them.
Mesothelioma.
That's something to do with lung disease, right?
And I think you get it when you eat too much asbestos.
Oh,
I think that's what it is.
you eat it.
Yeah.
Remember when we
Only eat a
covered?
small amount.
Remember when we covered asbestos, man?
Yeah, that was a
early
long time
on.
ago. Yeah, that was
Are
way
we
over
getting,
in
are we
Washington.
getting
I
close?
think.
Is this gonna be? This is year 4, right? We're
Is
about
it?
to be. I think so.
Wow. Okay.
We got to do something this summer.
You guys
though,
have a
man.
shitload of catalog to listen to. I can tell you that.
That's true. Like it's 160 something. Maybe a little less. 140 something. There's some times we had to run some reruns some weeks, and we take
Yeah,
some
but
weeks off.
big deal.
But
Sue
there's
us.
a good long. Yeah. You could, if you're bored at work and you don't find us boring,
Yes, if
There's
you like the
stuff you could
sound of
go-
our dulcet tones.
and Mike telling us what he's upset about this week, it's the ramblings of Mike.
I'm
and we
upset about
randomly,
something all the time.
And
Hey,
Zach
can I
will
tell you what
randomly
happened to
talk
me?
about comics.
Can I tell you what happened to me this morning?
Yeah, we
I'm
are getting
sorry.
off on Jack.
I know. I'm angry at the hospital. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, so Jaguar Man. I was just making sure before we just lost this episode.
Yeah, I
completely.
get it. Sure.
So, which going back and trying to make shorts,
Yeah.
there are some episodes
I would
like we
imagine.
do,
It's
like
hard.
the episode about Supergirl and Comet, like not just Supergirl, but Comet the Super Horse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we talked about 2 appearances. It's almost a 2-hour episode. I know that has to be. Here's the thing. I can't bring myself to go back and fully listen to it because I know it's just us probably getting lost on one
Sure,
topic and
sure.
then me being like, oh, let's get back to where we were.
Well, I'm
and
sure
then
it's a lot
randomly talking about
horses.
Supergirl dating her horse in human form. Go check it out.
I still have a problem
I really
with that.
sold it.
I still have a real problem with
That Supergirl movie is going to be badass, though. So Jaguar Man decides, hey, those birds, getting back to our story,
Mhm.
those birds gave me an idea. Maybe a tattooed egg is a kind of food. I'm going to go ask Monsieur Pierre
Monsieur Pierre.
at his penthouse cafe. Cafe.
Cafe.
I cannot speak today. So he shows up, and he's like, no, I don't know of any tattooed egg as any food either.
No, you idiot. I don't
So
know what
he's
you're
like,
talking
all right,
about.
well, we're on the trail of a clue about a tattooed. Dude,
Tattoo, tattooed
we're on
egg.
the trail of a clue about a tattooed egg is what Jaguar Man tells his Jaguar Ebony.
Why do they always look like somebody just placed them in the shot? Like that third panel there. It's the same. It's almost like the same movement as when they came in the window, when they went over the fence. Like it's like gravity doesn't affect them.
No, not at all. Or they just took it and they just transitioned like the same thing over another
Very well
panel.
could have, yeah.
or copied it and traced over.
Cut and paste.
But they decide like, hey, we visited all these people. You know, we haven't visited a tattoo artist. He'd
There you
be able
go.
to help us
Yeah.
understand this a little bit more.
Tattoo an egg. What
So
are you, crazy?
they go to a guy who is the so-called king of tattoo artists, right?
Uh-huh. He's a king of tattoo artists.
King of tattoo
He just
artists
happened to be right there in their
in
town.
1945 in
He's
their
the king.
town,
Sure.
right? And so he shows up, he knocks on his front door, and the tattoo artist shows up, and he's a little surprised. He's like, Jaguar Man, what? Oh, and he's like, don't be alarmed. I'm sorry. I didn't want to break in on you, but I was only hoping that maybe you could help me with these clues about tattooed eggs. And he's like, tattooed egg? Ha ha. See how my tattoo needle, it shatters the eggshell. Can't tattoo something that breaks under that needle. Ha
Sure.
ha.
Yeah. Don't want to do that.
Trust that guy 100%.
I wonder if anybody's ever talked to Jaguar Man about this package, like how it's just sticking right out.
You and
'Cause that's a big old
packages
lump.
today,
That's a
Mike.
big old lump in a Jaguar's down their regions.
Yeah, well, I mean, all Jaguars. Oh, I didn't mean to go like that.
Yeah, but this guy is a guy, and
No, hey, you can say that about a lot of guys, Mike.
This guy is a
this
guy.
guy's a guy.
who has now put on pajamas, and now his junk's
That's
hanging out.
crime.
Yeah.
So,
I can tell what religion he is. Look at
oh, really? Huh. Okay. Oh, I get it. Get it.
Yeah, thank
Get
you
it.
very much. I
So, Jaguar Man and Ebony leave, and as they leave, Ebony points out to Jaguar Man, because Jaguar Man so far has done nothing in this.
Ebony
Let's-
points out to Jaguar Man.
Well, it says-
Pardon me, Jaguar Man.
As Jaguar Man departs, Ebony calls his attention to visitors entering the tattoo artist's store.
Sure he does.
Verbatim, that's what it says there.
Yeah.
And they realize, like,
He
hey,
just looks at him and goes, meow.
hold on. With those men with the sea captain are the same ones who spoke about the tattooed egg at the
No,
zoo.
there's a sea captain.
Like Ebony
Yeah.
points out, like, those are the two guys that I overheard them talking about the tattooed eggs to begin with.
Sure.
Well, so, is it out of order? No. Okay. Then it says they go back to knock on the tattoo artist's door, and there's no answer, so they break in. And when they break in,
Because that's what you do in somebody's house.
they hit the floor, Ebony. Someone threw an incendiary device at us, and a fire breaks out. And as they're down there, they're like, hey, look, what are these eggshells doing down here? And they go to get out of the house, but the doors now have secret bars that have, like, iron bar or steel bars have slid over them.
What?
And
But
slid bars have slid over the windows without them knowing.
But they
So
go
they're
out
trapped in the-
horizontally. They don't go down.
Yeah, but they're trapped in this burning house now. So Ebony and Jaguar Man leap to try to get out, and Jaguar Man works to bend these horizontal steel bars.
Do we have any idea what his powers are?
No. Let me save you this question.
He's fleet of foot like a jaguar.
Let me save you this question. We don't know the powers for either of our heroes. That's
Okay.
that's one of the things they share in common.
Great.
They both made 2 appearances.
We're in that world.
They both have giant
Packages.
cats in their
Oh.
name. No. And we never know either of their powers.
Huh. Okay.
So
Well, we know he can bend some bars.
he can bend some steel bars, and
Sure.
he bends it and he goes, got to force these bars further apart before we, there, you can slip through, Ebony, save yourself. That's right. He's a righteous man.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to save Ebony. And
Yeah.
that's where it ends. And
What the fuck? What?
I'm kidding. Jaguar Man burns in the fire.
And that's it. The last
And
we
they
see of
sold this to
Jaguar
kids
Man.
in the 40s because they were like right out of the Depression. They're like, you got to be ready for what
and
might
then
happen.
somebody sells his bones.
But then it says turning back, Ebony seizes Jaguar Man's collar. So the Jaguar grabs Jaguar Man by his collar and like pulls him through the bars.
I'm starting to think this cat is smarter than this man.
He is. And Jaguar Man goes, don't scold me, Ebony. I knew you'd get me out.
Don't scold me.
I'm all right now. Hurry. Turn in the fire alarm, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be turn on the fire alarm.
Turn in it.
Because they realize now at the bottom, I guess the tattoo artist shop was at the bottom of this tenement house. So the fire is building up, then smoke's getting to everybody else, and they have to rescue Ebony and
This guy's trapped in a mental hospital
Ja-
somewhere. And this is
Jaguar
all
Man.
taking place in his drug-addled brain.
have to rescue all the tenants out of this tenement house.
Mhm.
You want to know who they save for last in all this?
Who's that? The baby?
there, your baby is the last to leave the
Thank
building.
God. Yeah.
Well, save the baby for last.
First,
Oh, you've saved my baby. Oh, I'll always remember you for this.
last
oh, thank
one in,
you.
last one out.
God,
That's how that works.
I don't. I guess so.
Yeah.
While they're there, the ambulance. Let me update you on the story here a little bit.
Okay.
With the fire under control,
Mm-hmm.
he's walking with this doctor, who I'm assuming is there with the ambulance because we see the ambulance. Jaguar Man is walking with him. And the doctor says, or the ambulance driver, whoever this is, goes, "Woo, I'm glad the ambulance will be empty. We've been hoping there wouldn't be an epidemic of fires, which sometimes happens."
What?
Epidemic of fires, Mike.
Damn, Mrs. O'Leary's cow again.
Exactly. Maybe we're in Chicago. Throwing a lot of second and third degree burns on our hands. Until now, we've been very low in our supply of a very effective anti-burn drug.
It's called Don't Set a Fire.
Luckily, it's being unloaded at Pier 6 tonight. See? So let me read this to you one
Oh
more
my
time because I think it's
God.
funny. Woo! I'm glad the ambulance will be empty. We've been hoping there wouldn't be an epidemic of fires, which
Yeah.
sometimes happens.
It does.
Throwing a lot of second and third degree burns on our hands. Until now, we've been very low in our supply of a very effective anti-burn drug. Luckily, it's being
Anti-burn
unloaded at
drug.
Pier 6 tonight. See?
They show up.
And he shows him a paper, and Jaguar Man goes, "Coming by sea, let me look at the shipping news."
What?
The ambulance driver just has the shipping news on him that talks about
Shipping
this.
news.
And he goes, "The anti-burn drug is being unloaded at Pier 6.
Oh, no.
Right. But the Neptuno is unloading eggs at Pier 7. Hold on.
The Neptuno.
The Neptuno is the name of a ship.
Sure.
So he shows up and he's like, tattooed egg, tattoo artist, sea captain, fire, anti-burn drug being unloaded at Pier 6, eggs at Pier 7 next to it.
Really
it all
starting to-
adds up. And the sum will equal ... question mark?
Oh.
We'll
It's really starting to come together, though. He's honestly, he's gained my respect. He's kind of like that guy in the hat with the pipe.
That guy in the hat with the pipe?
Yeah.
Who?
Well,
Professor
Sherlock.
Plum?
He's kind of like Sherlock.
Oh. Yep.
You know
Ebony
why?
or Jaguar Man?
Do you know
Ebony
why I
for
said
sure.
it that way? Because I could not remember the name Sherlock Holmes.
That's true.
So I just let
Fair
it
enough.
ride.
Oh, all right. So Jaguar Man and Ebony show up at the docks, and sure enough, they see the tattoo artists and some of the other guys unloading eggs, unloading the anti-burn drugs off the ship at Pier 6.
Anti-burndo.
And the tattoo artist goes like, "Come on, guys, you hurry up. The police are going to catch wise and realize we aren't real stevedores."
Not real what?
Stevedores?
Stevedores.
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 Thank you.
I guess those
Wait,
are
wait.
hands on a ship, maybe?
Oh, it is. It's people who work
Stevedores?
at a dock.
Okay.
It's stevedores. Thank you.
Okay.
I just thought it was funny because it has Steve in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, if you guys don't hurry, the police are going to catch wise that we aren't real stevedores. And so Jaguar Man and Ebony try to stop him, and the tattoo artist throws an incendiary at them.
An egg.
Another one, and it explodes, and they jump into the river, but this one's filled with gas. Okay?
The river's full of gas?
No, the
egg is full
the thing
of gas.
that they
Incendiary device is full of gas.
yes,
Okay.
which you've kind of figured out already about what it is.
Well, what the hell else is it going to be?
Exactly. So Jaguar Man and Ebony dive into the water, and you see them, they like dive all the way down deep, like to the bottom of this. So
Uh-huh.
this is a jaguar, not Jaguar Man, but his pet,
Yeah.
who can hold its breath very long as well.
Sure.
They climb back up on the Neptuno, which is the one with all the eggs on there.
You got to
and
be
when they
careful
get
because
there-
those jaguars, I've seen them come up through your toilet.
That's very true, like
sometimes.
snakes.
Yeah.
And when they get back up, they realize that everybody is now on the ship with the eggs. And so they're, all we have to get away are these incendiary devices or these eggs. So they like dump them all over on them,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts a big fire on the ship that traps the men in there as Jaguar Man and Ebony escape. Well, while the ship catches fire and burns down,
So these eggs, as soon as you throw them, things catch on fire?
throws it and it like explodes and catches on fire.
Hmm.
So Jaguar Man and Ebony hop out of the burning ship.
A
that
steam
you see
engine seems
smoke.
like a little. It seems a little dangerous.
And it goes, if this tow rope lasts, we'll be able to tow the burning ship where she'll do no harm.
There you go.
Faster, Ebony, faster. No, you say it like that, Mike. Look at that panel.
Yeah.
See how big that ship is?
Yeah.
That is a man and his pet Jaguar
Yeah.
paddling a tow ship.
Well,
Or not a tow ship, but a giant ship behind them, towing with a tow rope.
mhm.
And they take it to the police. And
I
then
think that's the least of our concerns at this
That's
point.
fine.
Yeah.
they rescue all of the crooks off the ship,
Uh-huh.
hand them into police.
Sure.
And Jaguar Man tells them, here's the egg I saved from the flaming cargo. The tattoo artist tried to throw me off track by breaking an egg with a blunt needle, but the egg is tattooed with a self-sealing incendiary liquid. It would have caused blazes in unsuspecting homes. So that's right. They were just going to put all these devices in regular homes and just start random fires. That was their
What?
plan. Yep. That was their
What
plan.
a great plan.
And then later, back at the zoo, Jaguar Man becomes Steve Lane, keeper. Here, Ebony, this meat will take the taste of the case of the tattooed eggs out of your mouth. Ha ha. The end.
He says "ha-ha" at the end.
Now-
He says "ha-ha."
A whole year later, Mike, in 1945,
Oh boy, look at that.
Jaguar Man makes his second appearance. A whole
This
year
is a-
later.
But you don't understand. This is Zoot Comics with a
is Zoot
laugh fest
Comics.
of gaily colored comics.
This is another thing these characters have in common. They both take hiatuses between their appearances. So from 1944 to 1945, his second appearance, and we're introduced to Jaguar Man. But wait, what happened to Ebony? That's right, Ebony's not around the second time.
Well, they only have a certain lifespan.
This is
this
is Jago,
Jago the Jaguar.
Jago the Jaguar.
Sure.
And also
They're breaking out of spaghetti noodles.
that's not Steve Lane.
Wait,
No,
what?
that's Jaguar Man, who is also he works as a zookeeper,
Uh-huh.
but his name is Maury Maine.
Maury Maine.
Maury Maine, like a lion.
Yeah,
a lion's
but
mane.
the first
That is
one
a
was
tough one.
Steve who?
Steve Lane.
L-A-N-G-E?
L-A-N-E.
Or L-A-N-G?
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's L-A-N-E.
Oh,
Let me look at
Lane. Gotcha. Okay.
that. Yeah, L-A-N-E. Lane to
Steve
Maury
Lane, Maury Maine.
Okay.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
His second appearance.
Just go back to that cover real quick. Somebody had to approve that.
Oh, I just noticed the bear weirdly locked up over in the corner there too.
Well, not only that,
And the monkey. And
whatever that monkey is shooting, he hit him. You see that? Like the dude got shot in the belly
Mm,
or wiener, whichever. Wow, everybody's
Belly
just chained up.
or wiener, whichever.
Belly or wiener, whichever. Yeah.
I do love it. It does have the X over the
I
eyes.
here
like
to
the
yuck
old
your
school
yums. Yeah.
cartoons there. Anyway, so Maury Maine, Murray,
Maine.
M-U-R-R-A-Y, Murray Maine,
Murray Maine.
who is now our zookeeper, who is Jaguar Man,
God, what a terrible name.
is talking to Jago, and he goes, "Look, Jago, they've started already, but we're not going to let them get away with it." And they're looking at the paper together, and what is it? A scientist warns against misuse of atomic radium stolen from her laboratory,
Mm.
begs criminals to think of humanity and return invaluable loot. And they did it again, Mike. You talked about it last week, and I immediately thought about it when I read it, how the headline is off.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
No. So
Somebody peed on the newspaper. Look at it. It's all wet.
we see the zoo, and he's like, "All right, well, never mind. Maybe later we can help recover that stolen atomic radium, but I got to go do zoo stuff, Jago.
Yeah, that's
I'll
one of
see
those
you
things.
later." So Maury leaves, and
Got to go clean the penguin cage.
the two visitors come in, and they're two of the crooks that stole the atomic radium because, of
Boy.
course, they're going to come to the zoo.
At least they don't look like crooks.
Yeah. And they're like, "No one can see us, Sliver. It's Sliver and Turtle are the two crooks." Which one do you think's Turtle, Mike?
I think it might be the shorter
It
one.
is the shorter
Yeah.
one. But they decide,
Well, it looks suspiciously like a turtle.
you know what we're going to do? We'll ditch the atomic radium in the Jaguar exhibit, and we'll come back after the zoo's closed, and we'll get it back.
Wow.
Right?
Okay. I
So,
like how it's just glowing in his hand.
Sliver just grabs it and just pitches it through the bars
Mhm.
into the cave that's in the Jaguar exhibit.
Sure.
To which Turtle tells him, like, "Yeah, you should be pitching for the big leagues, right?" He thinks he's that impressive. And he goes, We'll come back and pick up the radium and sell it to the highest bidder. What do we care for humanity? Ha ha! Screw humanity. Humanity, who cares? Humanity, humanity.
Well, he is a turtle.
The criminals are unaware of the scrutiny of piercing eyes which follow them. The scrutiny of a jaguar stares, Mike. A moment later, a blood-chilling call echoes through the zoo. Ho woo!
Hoo woo!
Thank you, that's a lot better.
Woo! Hey, that jaguar looks like some
dying.
middle school kid drew it.
And immediately Murray's like, "Oh, what's wrong with Jago?"
Uh-oh.
Sounds like she's dying or he's dying.
Jago's got the runs.
Yeah, and so he runs over there. Murray does. And he's like, "What is it, Jago? Why do you want me to go inside the cave?" "Oh, someone threw something inside the cave? I'll be right in."
Jesus Christ.
So since we don't have connection, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the suit or somehow like some magic amulet. This is the 40s. Think of like, what's that Billy Zane movie that they remade that they actually had comics and pulps of? Yeah, The Phantom from the 40s. So they were really big into like that kind of stuff.
Which I actually kind of liked. I thought that was a good movie.
I do too. It's good.
It's got all fake commercials and stuff in it. None of the products are real, which is cool.
Hear me out. We should do watch-alongs at some point in time.
Yeah, I like it.
Like we should just watch and we'll show us, like we won't show the movie, and so you can put it on, like watch with us, or maybe you can just download the audio and like we can watch the movie together then. I don't know, that could be dumb.
Yeah, I like
anyway, but we do like comic book movies like that because I really want to rewatch that again, but I want to watch it with somebody, so I don't know.
It was a good. I remember going to see it in theater and I thought it was really good.
Okay.
And then nothing ever happened and Billy Zane went insane.
Yeah, no. That was a movie, Mike. That's the Titanic. That's not really Billy Zane.
Do you know at one point Billy Zane was over in like Afghanistan making movies for the government over there?
Really?
I think it's Afghanistan. It was one of those kind of places.
Huh.
You know, it was very much or North Korea or somewhere he was making movies. Like he would take any acting job that came along.
Yeah. Well, I kind of get that. I enjoyed him on Community. Let's go ahead.
What was he on a Community?
He played himself. He worked for Subway.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So Murray Main goes in and checks and sees, there is radium in there. And he's like, this must be this stolen atomic radium. He's like, I'll call Dr. Topaz because it's a blue circle. Then we'll, wait for the crooks. So they call the doctor, but he dresses as Jaguar Man before they call the doctor. And she comes over and they wait for the crooks and they all go in there. The crooks do.
No more jaguars jumping on the bed is what she said.
To get the radium out of the cave. And when they go in the cave, Jaguar Man and Jago, because he takes Jago out of the cave to make the crooks not have to worry about it so they feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And when they lunge in there, they leave the radium. I forgot this. They do leave the radium as bait, and the crooks are able to get it. And they use a gas pellet because it's always gas with that's great. Look, it's always gas with Jaguar Man. The gas shell, cough, cough, to get out.
Gas with Jaguar Man.
Well, remember the incendiary things?
Yeah,
I was just saying. So the two crooks get away with the radium via helicopter. So Jaguar Man and Jago decide to chase him down with good old Dr. Topaz.
Well, it just comes right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Mike,
Jaguar Man and Jago.
And Jago. Do you want to guess how Dr. Topaz travels with them, Mike?
Telepathically.
No, do you see her down at the bottom? She is riding Jago.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. Sure.
Because she is not quick enough to stay up with Jaguar Man.
Jesus Christ.
So Jaguar Man can run the speed of a jaguar, and she's riding on Jago's back as they chase after the crooks and then see them leave on helicopter. So they decide to go to the skies to be able to catch up with them and stay with them.
They decide to go to the skies?
I don't know how they get up on the rooftop buildings, or the building rooftops. I don't know, but somehow they get to roofs.
Look at them running across those buildings.
And Dr. Topaz rides on Jago's back as the jaguar leaps from roof to roof along with Jaguar Man chasing after this helicopter.
Yeah.
Eventually, they leave her on like a bridge, and they're like, this is where we must go. And so they dive off the bridge onto the helicopter. Here's the part that I loved about this, Mike. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind firing at them, Silver. Speed up the propeller blades. They'll fall into them and be slashed. And then it says, fool, you didn't speed up the blades in time. And so they're able to just make it through the helicopter blades and land on top of the helicopter.
That doesn't seem right. I don't know much about helicopters, but I do know they cut that guy's head off
Exactly.
in the Twilight Zone movie.
Oh,
It did.
Yeah,
It
that's
really
real.
did.
Yeah.
Cut his head off.
So it's moving slow enough to wherever he can make it through, which seems to be incredibly slow.
How are
which
they still
makes
in
me
the air
think-
then?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they apparently land on top of the helicopter, and somehow that leads to them being on the ground, just like playing catch back and forth with them. Like, there's not a lot of like, and then that leads to them being taken to the police station and turned in. And then
Boy, they
go
wrapped
back
this
to
fucker up real quick, didn't they? Just like, and then they jumped into a helicopter, beat him up, and took him to the cops. Bye. Drink more Ovaltine.
They go back and they give the Dr. Topaz the radium back, and they're like, "We owe you all a great debt." And he
Just
goes,
hands it to her. Here's the radium.
and then Jaguar Man goes, "I'll be seeing you." Mean, I hope not. That is, unless you need me. Back at the zoo, you see jaguars are gentle to all those on the right side of the law. Evil never pays.
I don't think that's the way it works.
And then the kids just go, "Gee," and that's the end of Jaguar Man. Wow. So, along with Jaguar
They
Man,
jumped into a fucking helicopter.
yeah,
Blade first.
along with Jaguar Man,
You didn't speed it up fast enough, sliver.
and also let me make sure that
You
it came out the
dumbass.
same. Also came out the same year, 1944.
Ooh, all good
Fox.
comics.
Yeah. So hold on, let me look at this one. It was all something too.
It was Zoot.
So they had
All
all
great.
great comics
Zoot.
and all good comics.
all good.
I'm gonna assume all good comics came out first, and then they're like, "What's better?" Great, and all great comics came out. So-
I do admire the inception of this picture, though. Like,
Oh, because it's like keep
the
stacking.
kid reading the
yeah.
comic. On the cover is the kid reading the comic. On the cover is the kid reading the comic, so
Mhm.
on and so forth. Huh.
So we have
Nice job,
we've
Rick
read
Evans.
we've read this issue before, Mike,
Oh, really?
or about a character from this issue before. Somebody by the name of the Puppeteer. Do you remember the Puppeteer?
Oh, I do remember the puppeteer, yeah.
He had a pet bald eagle,
Uh-huh.
and the only way he could be turned into the Puppeteer was somebody had to play the first notes of
I do remember
Beethoven's Fifth Symphony
Yeah.
on his
Dun, dun,
magic
dun.
organ
Oh, shit, I'm the puppeteer.
back at his puppet lair,
Mm.
right? So somebody had to go play dun, 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 and
I
then he
just-
turned into
I
the
don't-
Puppeteer.
What, does that say pussy catnip down at the bottom?
Yeah, we've also talked about her,
Okay.
and you kind of also had a similar reaction.
Pussy catnip.
It's very much kind of like we're gonna tiptoe the line, but it's still a kid's book. It's
Very
more
sexy
about
name.
just the name.
Very sexy name. Pussy catnip. Problem is she still shits in a box.
Exactly. But you know who doesn't?
Who's that?
The Purple Tigress.
Oh, no. I've never seen her take a shit in a
So-
box.
So our first issue in all good comics is very easy. It's who is the Purple Tigress,
Right.
which is really good to
Origin
know.
story. Sure.
Right? Yeah. A whole city is piqued by this question of who she
Uh-huh.
is. You know,
Which city?
we don't know that.
Okay.
Also, by Betty Brown. So that's cool to see in 1944.
That is kind of
That
cool,
is
honestly.
a
Yeah.
woman here. Let me go ahead and give credit for Jaguar Man.
So she did not write Pussy Galore or whatever
Jack
the fuck
Lane
we
was
said.
created. Pussy Catnip? No.
Pussy catnip. That's even better. Oh,
Jack
God, that's
Lane
good.
created. Hold on. Jack Lane created Jaguar Man, and the real guy's name was Steve Lane. Okay.
Steve, you can't just be putting your name in comics.
Yeah,
Come
but
on,
Betty
man.
Brown here. Now our character, as I get back here, of Purple Tigress.
She's a purple
in
tigress.
1944.
Look at her go.
We get the paper, the Beacon, prints a headline that is becoming all more familiar. Purple Tigress captures the Stoltz gang, and all these guys.
Eric
here,
Stoltz?
It just says the Stoltz
From The
gang.
Mask?
So maybe, yeah, maybe the like the Jim Carrey movie?
No. The one where his face was all funky looking and Cher was his mother.
Elephant Man.
No, it's The Mask.
Oh, okay,
Eric Stoltz.
okay.
He looks like the Elephant Man in it. He has that same disease.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And Cher is his mother, which I think probably started it all. But it's a very depressing movie. It's kind of like Kid in a Bubble kind of
Cher,
thing.
Wait. Cher being his mother started though.
Yes.
Okay, I was just making sure I got the joke.
Cher
in there.
shouldn't be anybody's mother.
But she is.
She shouldn't be.
She is.
No.
Okay.
No, that should be
So
illegal.
Purple Tigress is shutting down all these gangs, and everybody, like, all the guys are enamored by her, and all the women are. One of them's like, you're not the Purple Tigress, Sally, are you? And Sally goes, tee-hee, I'm not telling. So, like,
All the
That's
men
the
want her,
guy.
and all the women want a beer.
at a night, there you go.
That's it.
At a nightclub, for the first time in her life, Anne Morgan is suffering from inattention. There's 3 guys that are there,
Inattention.
and the 3 guys that are sitting at the table with her are all
Mm.
going on and on about the Purple Tigress.
Okay.
And then one of the guys goes, I say you're wrong in our, what is,
I say.
I'm trying to figure out, I'm sorry. So Anne says, so this Purple Tigress is beautiful. Well, you can have her. And then all of them are like, no, she's strictly from hunger, Anne. Like, she's a hag beside you, Anne. Like, they're all like trying to like make up for it.
Yeah.
And then Anne just sits there and goes, I'm going to punish you. Don't talk to me. And then all the 3 of them are like, I say, Anne, my cabbage, Anne. Oh,
My
give us a break.
cabbage.
My cabbage.
Dear Ann, my cabbage.
Then
You
we
make me
see
fart.
at a nearby table this guy and another woman sitting there, and she goes, or the guy goes, that blonde is angry with her boyfriends.
Mm.
Boyfriends, plural. All 3 of them are her boyfriends,
Good
Mike,
spot in there, Chip.
right? And he goes and he walks over there and he pardons himself and he interrupts, and he goes and offers to dance with Anne. And while he's dancing, he tells her, like, my name is Thorne.
Mm.
And he goes, I know that you're Anne Morgan, the richest girl in the city. And she goes, I suppose I am. I don't know much about business. And after they're done, he nods and he's like, I'd be glad to advise you in business. Or, excuse me, I have to make a phone call. And Thorne.
Excuse me, I have to take a shit.
This guy in a box. Do you know
In a
anything about
box.
that? And he goes and he leaves. And as he leaves, Anne notices that the woman he was at the table with, like, follows him.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of follows over to listen in on the conversation. And the woman goes, that blonde that you've been dancing with isn't hard to take, is she? And Thorne says, it's business. I have plans. She's rich. There's a fortune in this if we play it right, Stella. And Stella, then the girl says, go to it. She's the dumbest looking dame I ever saw. So Anne says, you'll pay for that crack, sister.
Oh,
no. Thorne basically just tells him, I'm going to get Anne to invite us to a party, some rich home. You follow me with the gang, and then we'll go in and, like, clean it out.
Sure.
So she's like, all right, it'll be a pleasure to pluck the feathers of that chicken. So Thorne goes back and joins the table of Anne and her 3 boyfriends, and they talk about this party. The Allsteins, like, are throwing this party. Let's all go. So they all go
Very
to this
progressive
party.
for the 40s.
It is very progressive.
Yeah.
And they go outside, and they're all going to take a smoke before they go in.
Sure.
And Anne notices, like, a light off in the distance, and she thinks that must be a sign that the gang's here then, that they're ready.
Yeah.
So they all go
how it
inside,
works.
and as Thorne walks in to make his introduction, he's like, what a pleasure, as he's, like, introduced to Miss Allstein here, because he's captivated by the jewelry that she has around
Yeah, I don't
her
think it's
neck,
what he's staring at.
or her boobs. He's drawn like he's
I think he's staring right at her boobs.
Yep.
You could do that in the 40s. You could just literally bend down and just look right at them like that. Yeah, they wouldn't.
Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Yeah, there
And
wouldn't
they would
be
be like, my
anything-
eyes are up here, and he was like, yeah, it's the 40s though.
Yeah, if they said there was any sort of made them feel bad or whatever, the cops would just take the women to jail.
Yeah, years later, we're going to talk about a time we wish things would go back to the way we were. And we're talking about this right here, where we could just do what we wanted to, like just stare at your boobs while we talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Why,
Um,
hello there, the both of you.
what a pleasure to meet you.
And you.
Anyway, so Anne notices that Thorne has a habit of like leaving.
By the way, hang on. I feel like we need a disclaimer there.
Yeah.
Neither of us feel this way.
No.
We don't want to just introduce ourselves to people's boobs.
No.
I want people to
making a joke
understand
of-
that we
yeah.
were joking.
Maybe
It
I
was a
could do
terrible time in society when men could just come in and introduce themselves to
It's
women's
the same
boobs.
thing with why we cover these Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane. Is not because it's like it is so awfully written. It's not about Lois as a character herself
No.
as much as just the dumb stories that middle-aged men thought, hey, this is what would be funny. Lois should just always be obsessed with wanting to marry Superman to the point of where she might murder somebody. It's dumb stuff like that.
Or
It's
go
just poking
way
fun
back
at
in the past and grab her a Hercules.
That was last week. What was it? Golly golly hot dog rock and roll.
Golly hot dog rock and roll.
Yep.
That's it.
Anyway, so she notices the gangs there. See, I keep going off on these tangents, and it's gonna make.
Golly
So
hot dog rock
she
and roll.
notices the gangs there, and they kind of go in the back to try to clean out this place. And as she notices when they sneak in, and she turns the lights off. This is very weird because usually when we get a panel of this, but the people who drew Purple Tigress wanted you to know. You see her in the red dress. Maybe you're like, how did she change so quickly? Oh, she pulled the dress over her head because you wanted to see there's her pulling the lights and then her just getting dressed, but it's her just pulling the dress over her head.
What I don't understand is
then her appearing as the Purple Tigress.
Yeah, it's the spotlight is what's throwing me off.
That's
like
just
she went
for
over
us.
there to do the whole thing, to do the change in the secret or whatever, but there's like a big ass spotlight.
Do you not think they're like, hi, I'm here? And they're like, who's this woman in the red dress? And she's like, one moment. And she's like, just changing in front of them. They're like,
Probably.
oh, Purple Tigress. Which, again, no change to her face whatsoever. So if anybody sees Purple Tigress,
Yeah, I think she'd be better off just
I
leaving
guess that's something they have in common, too.
I think she'd be better off just leaving the dress over her head.
Maybe. And fight crime that way.
Uh-huh.
So she punches out the bad guys. She swings on the curtains.
The end.
Yep, it is essentially. She swings on the curtains to use to kick them at one point in time. She uses it to get out of their way, and they do the thing where they run into each other and hit noggins.
Yeah.
Then she rips the curtains and throws it at them, and then she goes, the men ought to be able to hold them now. And she goes outside. Or no, I'm sorry. So Stella, the woman, who's the only one left of the gang, realizes she hears all this noise coming from inside, so she should go in there and see what's up. And as soon as she walks in, Purple Tigress punches her straight in the face, and she goes, ha, dumbest dame you ever saw. Her three boyfriends show up, and they're enamored, not her, but like Ann's three boyfriends show up, and they're enamored with the Purple Tigress. And they can't realize that the woman that they date or that they're enamored with is the same woman, just in a purple tiger striped bikini with a cape, and not the woman that they were fawning over with the red dress. These are three dumb men.
You know, there's nothing that makes you fight crime better than if you remove anything from your midriff. You know, I mean, because bullets can't penetrate that. Pants just get in the way.
The only person who's been able to figure it out is Wonder Woman.
It's true. It's true.
Everybody else, not so much.
And she's Amazonian, so there's that.
She needs the.
We don't know where this woman
gauntlets,
came from.
No, we don't.
We just know she's the richest gal in the city.
In the city. When she said that the men could hold them, by the way, she honestly meant them. She makes all three of them sit on the curtains that are holding the guys underneath it to keep the cops ready. And then the cops come back. And she
gave one of them a black eye, though.
They arrest the bad guys, and they're all just like, I say, Ann, that bladder thorn is a crook. You see, Ann, you should stick to the one who loves you, because one of them's French. And then the other guy goes, that's us. And then Ann just goes, oh, that terrible man. I'll never see him again. As the cops take her away, and that's the end of that. That's
great.
The end of the first episode.
That was good.
So remember how I told you we got this last appearance of Purple Tigress, how I told you, and she appeared in JoJo Congo King comics.
JoJo Congo King.
That one of the things they had in common was that there was a time disparity between them.
Yeah.
It was just 1 year between Jaguar Man's appearance, 44 and 45. That makes sense. So she appeared in 1944. She appears again in JoJo comic or Congo King issue 7A. Don't know if there was a 7B.
It's a variant.
I didn't look. It might be.
Yeah.
With that, I will say that the armor on the elephant is actually kind of cool. But 1947, 3 years later, Mike.
Look at her go.
She changed costumes.
She's fighting the devil.
No, that's the Flasher, Mike.
Excuse me?
The Flasher.
Why is he attacking Jesus?
That's a
Oh, no, that's Mary Magdalene. Sorry.
The Purple Tigress, who wears a yellow costume
a snazzy
now.
new outfit, though. Look at her.
It's tiger colors and a purple cape.
There you
go. But
again, no explanation as to her powers, no explanation as to where she came from, no origin story to be had.
Nope, and you're not going to get one on this one either.
Great.
So, I do love at the end of this speech bubble that starts it off here, because it's it's telling you about the Flasher, whose nimble wit and daring make him flash across the horizon like a brilliant meteor of evil. The result is inevitable when the powerful personality of the Purple
flashes
Tigress
his junk at you. That's what's inevitable.
clashes with the
Look at
evil
me.
genius of the Flasher. Only one can survive. Who will it be? Before you guess, meet the Flasher.
Hi, I'm the Flasher.
Before you guess,
Look down here.
yeah. It says far below the city streets in the catacombs of
Look closer.
a long forgotten abandoned sewer. The Flash.
A long forgotten abandoned sewer.
The Flasher.
Nice.
The Flasher lives in the sewer, and that is what the Flasher looks like, Mike.
Oh boy, look at him.
So
Looks like a ventriloquist dummy.
he talks about how everybody, he talks about how his face is known to the police of every continent.
Every continent.
Every continent.
Boy, he gets around.
But this time, I'm going to let everybody see my face. They will never suspect the truth.
She's still got 3 boyfriends, huh?
She still has 3 boyfriends 3 years
Okay.
later. So that's
Yeah,
actually
good for
kind of
her.
nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice that they're able to make it work.
Yeah. Well, either that or she's paying them. I mean, she is the richest gal in the city.
Yeah, but they always talk about how pretty she is.
The other thing is they don't say which city. So it could be New York City or it could be Gatesville.
Hear me out. What if it's like there's only like 10 people in the city?
That's what I'm saying. She's the richest one in the city
Yeah.
because she can buy 2 hamburgers or something, something stupid like that.
Yeah. You know what? We went with her to the Dairy Queen the other day,
Whoa.
and she bought a second hamburger. She didn't even touch it.
No.
Said she was going to save it later for dinner.
She gave it to a dog.
Oh, I guess that would be rich.
You know how they
Never
put
mind.
the little curly Q
I was
on?
making her be frugal. Never mind.
You know how they put the little curly Q on top of the cone? She made them do 2.
Yeah. They said, "Ma'am, that's going to cost extra." She just nodded. Didn't even let him finish to know that was going to be extra.
Don't care.
She
She
goes,
don't.
"While you're at it, and I know it's going to be extra, add some more strawberry if you do."
And she just flipped a dime at him.
Yeah. And keep the change.
Keep change, you little paper-haired
you know
hat.
what?
weirdo.
That dog got a whole ass steak finger basket.
That-
That's how rich she is.
Wait, it was a hamburger and then it became a steak finger basket.
Well, the dog wasn't satiated
would-
enough after the hamburger.
I
so
would
she
like
went back
to
and bought him a steak finger basket.
Send out my thoughts
Are
and
we
prayers.
talking about Dairy Queen?
I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers to all the Dairy Queens that have closed.
It's just
In the last
I'll have to tell you about
month
that
or
too.
so, you and I have seen the demise of many, many Dairy Queens.
yeah, but it's not a regional or even a state thing. It's just a local.
It's
thing.
that company, right? It's
yeah,
that company.
It's the
Yeah.
franchisee that owns it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a lot.
The
of
guy got all
local ones.
pissed off and said, "Well, you just keep your Dairy Queens."
Yeah, basically.
Do you remember
But-
the DQ Kid?
Was that like a sandwich?
Nope. It was little cartoon characters.
Well, the DQ dude. Okay.
No,
Okay.
DQ Kid.
Let's talk about this. This is going to be a longer episode. I love how I talked about that Supergirl episode being so long. And that we got on tangents, and that's
I
exactly
think
what
you
this
just
one
gave
is.
us an idea.
I'm just going to add, you know how the tagline for Dairy Queen is DQ? That's what I like about Texas.
Yeah.
And it's not even a freaking Texas company.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It's from Minnesota, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's based out of Minnesota. No, it's just the Dairy Queen Texases got together and decided, like, hey, we're going to do special branding for our Dairy Queens.
about
And
Texas.
they have menu items that you can only get here in Texas that you can't get at other Dairy Queens. So, nope, do not know that guy.
That's the DQ Kid.
Okay, he looks cool.
I had a little
Plush
when
stuffy that you
I had a plush stuffy. I had the little rubber people, like
Yeah.
that had the wire in them, where you
the
can
Noids.
it's like make them do
Oh.
whatever. Yeah, kind of like
Oh.
almost like a Noid. There was a Noid like that also. There was a whole group of them. Like he had a cartoon horse, and he had
What was the
I think the
horse's
girl's name was like Polly. It was that kind of thing, and then
What
it was
the
a bad
horse's
guy.
name, Mike?
The horse's name?
Yeah.
It was Twisty. I don't know.
Wow.
I have no idea
Anyway,
what his horse's name was.
if you want DQ Dude, you can only get in Texas.
It's a terrible joke, but I always tell my wife that I'm
Which is
feeling
their
like I
chicken
want a
fried
hot
steak
dude in my
sandwich.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With mustard.
That ruins it. Nobody
Oh.
puts mustard on their dick anymore.
Anymore. That was such an 80s thing to
See,
do.
there he is. Look at the little rubbery one. Look at him go.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go
shit.
ahead.
Hang on. See? There they all are. There's a little
It's such
group.
a blurry little picture.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Hey, the Googles for the DQ
Look up
dude
DQ
and
Kid.
his family are going to go up by 2. maybe 3.
1970s Dairy Queen DQ Kid Bendy Bendable.
There you go. So the Flasher's going to decide to pull a heist without
Oh, yeah,
hiding
the
his
Flasher.
face. and instead he's going to dress up in this devil outfit.
Okay.
As he creeps out of the sewer.
Oh, so he doesn't normally dress in a devil outfit.
No.
Okay.
We don't know why. And he's coming out of the sewer. And then, no, not Anne anymore. Still Morgan. Now Anita Morgan. She decided to change her name.
He's also on a lonely street.
He is on a lonely street.
With his weird-ass face.
Yeah. But Anita Morgan, now with her 3 boyfriends.
It was what before? Anne?
Anne.
Now it's Anita?
Anita.
Yeah.
They're all fighting amongst each other, making fun of one another, and she tells them to be quiet. We came here to see Faust. It's the beautiful story of Marguerite
Faust?
being tempted by Satan.
Really? Huh.
So that's Marguerite as she starts singing.
Okay.
The opera unfolds.
Now I'm getting the devil
smoke.
costume.
Yep.
Okay.
And Faust appears, or, Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles. Help me out, dude. I'm drowning.
Mephistopheles. No, that's not how you say it either. Now you've fucked up my pronunciation
How
of
do you say it? It's Mephisto.
Mephisto.
thankfully.
There we go. We're done.
It's Mephisto in Marvel. They shortened it instead of doing the whole. I don't know. Like, you don't have to call him Beelzebub 40s. You could, I guess the 40s they call a different thing, but Mephisto, you could just say Satan and be fine with it. Anyway, he appears to tempt Marguerite. But instead he starts running away, and Marguerite goes, "Where are you going? That's not in the opera." And it says, of launching into his aria, Mephisto does an unprecedented thing, and he leaps into the crowd, and he steals this woman's... Mephistopheles. Okay. Mephistopheles. I'm not going to say it back and forth. It's not a call and response to your fucking phone. Oh, man. That's how angry it was.
I'm sorry.
No.
No,
wasn't.
I'm telling you right now, though, the Chartreuse Tiger or whatever her name is, it's starting to grow on me a little bit because they did tie in the Faust and the devil costume.
Yeah.
What is she? Purple Tiger?
Purple Tigress.
Purple Tigress. Okay.
And so everybody's like, oh, it's the Flasher. Somebody's got to stop him.
How do they know it's a Flasher?
Because he's world
Because his
renowned.
face is known on every continent.
On every continent. Everybody
Okay.
knows the Flasher.
Yeah.
He's known for flashing worldwide, Mike. Here's the thing. Did you love where you're like, man.
Ask me about my wiener.
I have to show you something. I really have to show you something.
Oh.
That
Is
just
that what the
reminds me.
Flasher says?
That is a weird thing to be triggered by. But
That's what
I'll
the
show you.
Flasher says.
Anyway, so 3 years go by. They know you still want that sweet, sweet transition footage of her pulling a red dress over her head. Oh, we have lost it by the end of this one. Anyway, Purple Tigress shows up to try to stop the Flasher, and they notice, look, it's like he's been tied up in the ropes trying to get away.
Look at that weird-ass leap she did.
That's how she leaps. Then leaps to the stage.
It's like, go back one more time. It's like she has a lot of gas or something. Look at, like her belly's all distended.
Oh,
and her leg is folded into that boot.
It is. Well,
It is
long
weird.
Boots.
Huh.
So she rescues the guy dressed in a devil costume and brings it down and realizes
That's
it's
not the same
essentially
guy.
the actual guy who was playing, the role, the devil role. So there you go. Thank you. So she changes back into her regular garbs and goes back to her 3 boyfriends.
Yeah.
I say, Anita, we saw the Flasher and the Purple Tigress. Ooh la la, what a woman. I'm sorry, that's the French guy.
Ooh la la, what a woman.
Actually, the first guy's British. How is your British accent? Mine's terrible.
What does he say?
He says, I say, Anita, we saw the Flasher.
We saw the Flasher. Is that it? Is that close?
Sure. I don't know what that was for sure. And then the other guy I didn't tell you. They named them all. The other guy goes, she could be my gal pal.
Oh.
That's not what I needed.
Don't like that.
They're all named. Her boyfriends.
Okay.
Because she was attending the opera with her faithful beau, Reggie, who I'm assuming is the British one, Henry, which I'm pretty sure is probably Henri,
Uh-huh.
and Butterball.
Butterball.
Butterball is
Fantastic. Boy, there's nothing like
other
fat
guy.
shaming. That's good stuff, isn't it?
And Anita doesn't want to hear about Purple Tigress. Well, then
Hang on.
Reggie. Several days later, all 4 of them, you've lost it. I'm trying to wrap
Why
this
do I
up.
like that? I don't
Several
understand.
days later, all 4 of them.
Oh,
are at
shit.
the
I'm sorry.
circus.
I really thought that was the end. Where
No.
they were like, we saw him. Okay, bye. I mean, that's how the rest of these have ended.
No, this is their last appearance. You think they just let the Flasher get away and that's the end of
Well,
it?
yeah, he's known on every continent.
So then, several days later at the circus, they're watching these horse performers. All 4 of them, Anita and her boyfriends. And there's the guy.
Reggie, Ennui, and Butterball?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Anita. And they're watching this guy who's this all-star horse performer.
Yeah.
You see him with a mask on, and he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
what looks honestly like the devil costume
Uh-huh.
with just a cape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy who's riding on back, like he's standing on this horse as it goes by, leaps off the horse into the crowd, and his domino mask falls off. And this woman goes, oh, the Flasher. Oh, I'm going to faint, which is kind of actually
The Flasher.
appropriate
I'm going
reaction
to faint.
to a
That's
guy-
how I assume
yeah.
she talks.
And he goes, it's all right with me. All I want is your pearls.
Yeah, pearls.
But-
I'm the Flasher.
The Purple Tigress is there. We've already given you the one shot of her pulling a red dress over her head when I'm to give it to you.
Yeah, you
again.
can't do that twice.
So she just hops
Comics
in.
code.
Yeah, exactly. And the Flasher, the Purple Tigress, she's trying to stop me. And so he goes and he like whips the horses into a frenzy and sends them after the Purple Tigress to get away.
What is wrong with that horse's tail?
They all stampede towards the Purple Tigress. I don't know. And he's able to get away. And they get back home. And Anne's like, guys, I'm sorry. Can you leave me alone? I have some thinking to do. And all of them are like, oh, old thing. You should never think. Like
These guys have nothing else to do.
They just follow
They
her
just
around.
follow her around.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, you know, you shouldn't have to be thinking about anything. Our pretty little, I don't know, Lily. I don't know what they call her, but they're like,
Yeah.
And eventually they leave, and she's like, I can't tell them what I was gonna think about, but I need to figure out what to do about the Flasher. So she goes up to her.
Let me get in
room,
this fainting chair and figure out what I can do about the
and
Flasher.
she fake faints to think about the Flasher, and then it hits her. She's gonna put on a fashion show,
I don't know that I could have come up with a better plan.
right? And so, and she's gonna perform at the fashion show, so she can be there and ready for it. So they put on this fake fashion show, and her and the boys show up, and she's watching from the curtains as it all goes down, and she doesn't suspect anything, but she's like,
Yeah.
this audience is really rich. There's enough people here to be able to tempt it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, look at those actors out there. I don't know. Nothing's going to happen. Oh, well, I guess at least the money's going to charity.
That's it.
Yeah. And about that time, look who should appear. Another domino mask.
Thomas Jefferson.
And it's not Thomas Jefferson. It's the guy wearing like a Mozart like costume.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he looks like. But the domino mask falls off and it's the Flasher again. And he just starts like,
Ooh.
like supermarket sweep grabbing
My
stuff off the
pearls,
count,
my
off
necklace.
the shelves as he's taking necklaces
My
and jewelry and everything.
diamonds.
Yes. But the Purple Tigress is there, and she goes to chase after him.
Pose. Look at her.
And he does the same thing again. Remember how he whipped the horses into a frenzy and pushed them away? This
He
time
whips
he just
the women into shape.
he just pushes all the women in front of her and he runs away.
She got your diamonds. Go get them.
And he runs outside with all the jewels and he takes a bicycle from a telegram guy and tells him like, hey, if you ever deliver a telegram to me, I'll give you a tip then. Ha ha ha.
Hey,
And the Flasher takes the bike.
I'm the Flasher.
And he's too fast for Purple Tigress. But don't worry. She's a doll
Nope.
with a carriage.
Nope.
And she steals a carriage.
Nope.
We don't know what happens to the baby.
Don't know where the kid is.
Don't know where
that
the
they
kid
got
is.
it from.
Probably just sets it on the ground and leaves it there.
Mm-hmm.
And she hops in the carriage, feet first, leaning forward, hanging on to the handles. And she catches up and leaps from the carriage to tackle the Flasher on his bicycle and turns him into the cops that way. And then the next day,
You know, I've got a little piece of trivia for you.
Okay.
Do you know that's where the original idea for the Segway came from?
oh, no,
Right
I
there.
didn't know that,
Yeah.
from the Purple Tigress.
The Purple Tigress jumping into a baby carriage.
The next day, all 3 of her boyfriends are sitting there reading about the Purple Tigress, bragging about how great she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Anita just sitting there fainting on her her bed. You can have her if you ever catch up with her. The end.
Did she get him?
Yeah, she caught him after jumping from the baby carriage and then took him to the cops, and that's the end of it. I'm telling you, they're very loosely wrapped up.
Once the cops show up, everything's
They don't
over
have to do
in
anything.
these stories.
So there
Yeah.
you go, Mike. I figured it
Well,
would be
that's
a
good stuff.
fantastic feline duo of characters from the Golden Age for you. From Fox Features, not
Look,
enough
I'm
F's in
catching a
there.
little feline AIDS over here or something
Smidge.
from all those stories.
And we'll have Wonder Woman Dead Earth coming up here soon.
You ever seen feline AIDS where those cats' teeth fall out?
No, that's sad.
That's a real thing. Like all their teeth fall out.
I know that's sad.
I know. I didn't say it was good.
Oh,
I didn't say yay feline AIDS.
I haven't seen it, but okay.
I'll show you some pictures.
Well, thanks. Thanks, I appreciate
I
that.
will not.
Anyway, that has been this week's episode of Bros, Foes, and Heroes. As always, we can't thank you guys enough for taking the time out to watch, to listen, to comment, to anything and everything you do with this. We appreciate it so much. Thank you guys so much. Also, there's the picture of Superman that Mike drew earlier.
Here he comes.
Let me try to Mike's height here.
He flew off.
Also, make sure to check out all the other great family of podcasts on the Rogue Media Network family of podcasts.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
I got it out there somehow. And until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Hey, it's the Flasher. Golly gone.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network